You gotta get into the groove.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another session for Groove Asia Leaders Unite. And of course, I do a regular session regards to e-commerce, anything to do with e-commerce, whether it be based on the GrooveKart platform or any other platform. Basically, it's just sort of going through different things, a variety of e-commerce, platforms, as well as products as well. So I'm not sure if everybody knows, but I do actually use probably a multiple of platforms when it comes to e-commerce. I do actually have my GrooveKart platforms that I use as stores, but there are others as well that I use. It's kind of like not sort of keeping all your eggs in one basket, right? And after all, it's all about e-commerce. It's not about one single platform. The reason why I do actually use GrooveKart a lot is because of the fact that I can create as many stores as I want. I'm a lifetime member of Groove, so it's not going to cost me anymore. And there's just so many other features within the GrooveKart platform that I actually really like, and it's something that I find very beneficial to me as well. So this week is about GrooveKart. Now that we're on that subject, it is about GrooveKart and whether or not your site is actually converting. Are you getting potential customers or buyers to your sites? Have you got a site up? And is it converting? Is it converting in sales? Now, what I mean by that is your site optimized to actually convert lookers into buyers, if you like. Just go look in the comments here and just see who we've got here. Tyra, welcome Tyra. We've just been sort of one Zoom into another kind of Zoom, but good to have you here. And then we've got Nancy. Great to have you here as well, Nancy. Tyra, I know you've taken some time off a wee bit for a little bit, and it's good to have you back. We missed you. And I can definitely say I missed you. I know it's kind of different not seeing you there, but it's good to have you back. Anyway, I'm going to get on with it because I just want to get through this in sort of a methodical way in terms of how I explain how you could make a site a lot more, conversion friendly. And it involves a lot of different things, obviously, but let's just go through that. So I'm going to share my screen. By the way, if you do have a store up and running, let me know. Put it in the chat. Whether it be a GrooveKart store, whether it be a print-on-demand platform, like we did have Dr. Lisa. She showed us a while ago what platform she was using for her. I think it was called TeePublic, and she had her butterfly printed apparel on there as well. And she was getting some traction there, so that's really good. So she uses that platform as well, and I'm not too sure if she uses another print-on-demand platform, but that's one I do know that she was using. And I actually bought something off there. I bought a couple of items actually, a couple of T-shirts with some butterfly prints on it with a panther, and yeah, they were pretty cool, pretty cool. And good quality. I have to say that the shirt is good quality. It's nice and soft to the touch as well, which is really good. Right, let me get on to this. Hopefully we can all see the screen there, my shared screen, and I am just going to head over to this. All right, a lot of you have actually seen this site. I have actually gone through this, and I'm going to use this as an example today as to like how you can make a site look, one, engaging, draw attention, as well as kind of make it a bit, like a sort of an exciting site to sort of go through, and make people want to sort of click on the actual item to actually get more information about it, and maybe even consider buying off that site. Now, this is a one product site. It's not a multiple products. It's really niched down to a specific, to a specific, how would you say, in terms of a niche, like a electric bikes, but even niche down even more to a specific model. All right, so it's really only just promoting a particular brand, and there's a few other models that's actually part of that brand, but I've singled it down to one particular model, and that's this one here. All right, so if I go to the live, oh, hang on, sorry, you're not seeing this. There you go. View this. Hang on, you're not. There you go. Sorry, guys. I am really bad for this. I'm really bad for not sharing the screen straight away. Okay, so this is the one that I was talking about. Okay, so and like I said, you guys have all seen this side here, and it is one particular model of a particular brand, and it makes it nice and easy to actually market to. By the way, that's the other thing. So this is where we all get down to this whole converting, I guess, on lookers into buyers. And one of the things is that you gotta, when you start actually putting too much into, there used to be a saying. I used to have a saying that too many options is not a good thing. And I used to do full commission sales back in the 90s. And I know that when you give a client too many options, say for example, maybe a color of a particular product, they're going to probably take a long, long, long time to decide which color they want. It's kind of same with people actually looking online and buying online. You get too many options, then, they're going to take a long time to decide whether or not they're going to buy. It's really hard online as opposed to actually face-to-face like I've done in the past. And so, like, you really need to try and narrow choices down. And that's what I've kind of done here. What I've done is I've actually looked at a brand. It's a real reputable brand. They're a manufacturer in the United States. They only deliver within the United States. They don't deliver anywhere else in the world. And so the thing that this has got going for it, made in the US and delivered within the US. Two great things, two big factors when it comes to people buying in the US, right? A lot of people would prefer to buy US made. A lot of people would prefer to be delivered as soon as possible and not shipped and taking about 20 weeks or so to get to the country, and then they have holdups in customs. So this is kind of like a plus. So that's number one in terms of converting lookers into buyers. All right, having a product that is locally made and is fast shipping. All right. Number two, of course, is the website and what it looks like, and pretty much how you've got it all laid out. So if you have a look here, it's just real simple. I've got some really nice, crisp, high resolution images on the website, which makes it like appealing to look at. When images are fuzzy or blurry, it's not a good look, and it kind of sort of puts people off. And I don't know, it's a psychological thing. They just think the website's kind of like not made very well, and it's not professional looking. And you want to get away from that. You want to make sure that your website is looking sharp, and so that's probably another reason why you should do it. Why it will convert lookers into buyers. And the other thing is that simplicity. The simplicity of a website is really important. at the end of the day, you don't want to have it all cluttered up where it gets a little bit confusing. That's a big thing. A lot of people tend to put too much text or too much information or throw too much in there to the point that it actually looks a little bit busy. And, for some people, they can give them a bit of a migraine just looking at it. And so you really want to make it look nice and simple, because simple is really effective. Simple, what is it? Less is more. And that's one thing I really do believe in. And I try and incorporate that into all, not just e-commerce sites, but also customer websites as well, business websites. Colors. Here's another one. I have seen in the past people throw too many colors into a website to the point that you've got this kind of like, unicorn effect going on. And in terms of if you were, selling children's toys or unicorns or anything like that on your website. But in terms of something like this, I've kept it down to really 2 colors. You've got kind of like a forest green in there and along with the black. All right. So, of course, the white space. Now, which brings me to the next point. White space is hugely important, especially when you want your content to stick out, especially if you've got copy content that you want to stick out, right? I've seen people put like sort of like a gray background with maybe yellow text and all that sort of thing. Those two really don't mix. Black on white is actually probably the most effective thing when it comes to website building. That's what helps make the text stand out. When you start putting it on different colored backgrounds, thinking that it's going to actually have this really cool looking effect, it really doesn't. It doesn't actually help your cause. It actually goes against your cause of what you're trying to achieve. So, like I've got there in terms of like font, I've got some, that's actually forest green, believe it or not. I think that, yeah. And, but when you have a look at it, it's still a dark text that's on a white background, which really makes it stand out. Okay. Now some might say, oh, what about white on black? White font on black. Yes, under certain circumstances, but not on everything. You really don't want to like have a whole website that's got sort of like copy on white on black. The other way around is more effective. So that's another way that you can help your site convert. Obviously, SEO is really, really important. So some of the things that you can do with SEO, and if I just go back to this one here, obviously you're going to put like things into your SEO settings. Like I don't have anything in there at the moment. I am actually still working on the site, by the way. But you will put like things like title, keywords, descriptions in there as well. You want to make sure that you have like a favicon for your website as well, which is obviously the little thing on the browser tab, the little image on the browser tab. So you really want to have those as well. Did someone say SEO, Dr. Lisa? Yes, welcome, by the way. Yes, I said SEO. And look, please put something in the chat if you've got something to say about SEO, because I know that you are a real stickler when it comes to all that sort of stuff. So, and if you didn't know, if some of you didn't know it by now, but Dr. Lisa has got a real sort of like organized. I don't know. I've never seen anything so organized in terms of all the information she has for her website. It's really good to see. Tyra says practice makes perfect. Yes, it does. It does. It makes perfect. Look, I'll tell you what. One of the things is with GrooveKart, with Groove in general, is that I used to do WordPress, but I switched from WordPress over to Groove, and I just used it day in, day out, and I still do, by the way. And I got very, very familiar with it. Got to know its little sort of like idiosyncrasies where, all those little things that that people don't realize. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen, or if you do this, that's what's going to happen. And how you just resize things, how you overlap things, all that. It all just came by practice, as what Tyra said, practice makes perfect. And so I just did that on a continuous basis. Some people have actually gotten into the software. They may have become a life member back in 2020, and they haven't touched it up until now, right? And so they've actually, they need to sort of like get in there and really use it a lot. I think one of the complaints I always hear is that there's no real sort of like guide how to use the platform, because in all honesty, when you look at it for the first time, when you go into a Groove the first time, especially now, back when I started, there wasn't really many apps functioning at that time. But I only used it because of GrooveKart. That's how I found it. They were offering a free e-commerce account, so that's why I only that's why I got into GrooveKart. But I didn't realize about all the other features. But you do need to be using it all the time to actually get very, very familiar with it. And the other thing is too, as well, behind the scenes, Groove does actually make some updates here and there. And it can disrupt the platform a little bit, but I tend to have gotten used to it in a lot of ways, because I know when that happens, they're doing something in the background. When there's some things are not working properly and all that sort of thing, I know that's what's happening. They're doing stuff on the platform. So yeah, sometimes it just pays to switch it off, switch the computer off, and go to bed and get up the next day, and then it'll probably be all done by then. So those are the sorts of things that those are my workarounds, if you like. Okay, so you've got the SEO side of things, right? So that's one thing. Obviously, you got to have, if you're going to get lookers to sort of turn into buyers, then you're going to need a payment gateway and all that. That goes without saying. All right, so you need a way for them to actually pay you. Now let's go back to the site again, to the live site. All right, the use of font. Okay, the use of font is really important, because that kind of also, if you tend to sort of use various different fonts, sometimes it's not a good thing. I've seen people use font that they think actually looks quite good, but depending on the I guess the nature, or the the nature of the site, some fonts actually are suitable to different types of websites. I chose just kind of like this type of font because I felt that it justified what I was trying to do. It's a high ticket item. I didn't really want to have anything like a sort of a handwritten type looking font, or a playful looking font. This is a high ticket item, and I really did want to actually make sure that it only attracted high ticket buyers, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to spend the money on something like this. Right? It's not every day that someone's going to spend like $2,000 on an e-bike. Right? So just to let you know, like in New Zealand money, that actually equates to something like about five or 6,000, like 2.5, 5 or 6,000 in New Zealand money. So it's a lot of money here. But believe it or not, some of these bikes can go up to around about 18,000. Some of them actually cost more, just as much as a car does. So that's really quite sort of unbelievable. Right. The only real thing that I've put in there that's kind of sort of playful is emojis. All right. But I've just stuck to the one emoji. I haven't sort of put a whole selection of different emojis. Obviously, the power, the sort of lightning bolt looking thing is to symbolize, electricity, which is what these are, e-bikes. So that's just a little touch that I've put in there. But again, that you won't see that throughout the rest of the site. It's only up there. So you need to sort of look, when you're doing something like this, you need to hold off on the emojis and don't use them as much as you might want to. All right, and as we go scroll down the side, you can also see that what I've done here, I just in the builder itself, I've overlapped the handlebars of the bike onto the wording. This just adds a little nice little feature to it. So no, that's not one sort of photo. That is separate. We've got the font separate and the image separate. So if I go into here, into the back end, you will see that that's different. That's separate to this. So overlapping onto something like that gives it a little bit of a nice touch to your website. You can see I've got call to action all the way sort of coming down on each of the bikes here. So call to action. The other thing is too, let me just go back to the live site, is that these things here, these keywords, if you like. All right, now I've actually researched these keywords, and they're actually good keywords. So I've used them in different parts. Mind you, there are a couple of ones that are the same, which is this one here and that one, but I have got some other keywords to replace those. So yeah, using different ones is actually really good. In actual fact, this is actually a good keyword as well, for phenomenal power. That's a real good keyword as well. And you will probably see all the way through I've used different keywords. This one here, that one there. Low noise emissions is another one. Yeah, so I've done that kind of all the way through. All right, so, and even here, just a few different images of parts of or areas of the bike, of the electric bike, where people can have a good look. The only one thing I didn't do on this, which I don't think you can do in GrooveKart, is actually being able to click on that and bring it up as a pop-up. Actually, let me just have a quick look. If anything, it's going to be an element. Yeah, what I mean by pop-up is that when someone clicks on it, then a bigger photo or bigger image of that image will pop up, which I don't think we have got one here. There's no pop-ups on here. So yeah, that's probably why I didn't use it in the first place. Okay, let's go back to here. Images like this are really cool. Now, more often than not, if you're actually selling these bikes as a partner, if you like, as a commission-based sort of like affiliate, or you have the rights to actually sell this particular bike, this seller's bike, then you should have access to a lot of the images, or you should be able to download their images from their site and use them for your own. Many sellers actually allow you to do that. And it's always good to have images that show, the bike in action, if you like, different things. So if you go up to here, we've got these guys out. They look a little, I don't know, something's wrong with this photo. I don't know if they look bigger than the bikes, or if the bikes are a little bit squished up. I'm not too sure, but anyway. Especially things like this, where it actually identifies the suspension or the shocks, if you like, the hydraulic shocks, those things, to someone who's interested in buying a bike. Those are actually really important. I guess the amount of noise that it creates, all right, and that's kind of telling you that so with dB is decibels, so it's actually it's telling you how high the noise will get, and that's not very high at all, 30 decibels. When you have a look at paired to the a motorcycle, you're getting up to about 170 to 100 decibels. So the low emission I'm just reading your text, Nancy. Can we add HTML for making a Zoom pop up? Interesting. You could do. You could do, but you need to make sure that it connects with that image. So when they do connect on the smaller image, the bigger image is going to pop up. But you know what? That's something I'm going to look into. I haven't really looked into it. I mean, you can do it obviously on the group pages, but on GrooveKart, a little bit different. But you know, that's not to say that it's not. That's not to say that it's actually impossible. Tom Garner, welcome. Have you ever done any tutorials on mobile site design for GrooveKart? I kind of have, in different things that I've done with GrooveKart. Yes, I have. Trying to find them amongst all the other tutorials that I've done in the past would probably be like looking for a needle in a haystack. But it's fairly simple. Probably just I can probably quickly show you something after I've gone through this. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. But let's go down a little bit further. You can see here more information about how the bike performs and what you can get out of it. Now this is one that I recently sort of added. Now this is actually an HTML code from the website, not my website, but the seller's website. Now GrooveKart doesn't have the ability for you to actually upload something that does this, right? In Groove Pages you do, but what I had to do was grab the HTML code and input it into embed it into my GrooveKart code embed element, and I was able to get this effect here, which is where the bike changes color and the names change. Well, the name of the color changes as well. Something that's really nice and effective, looks really cool, and again, you know, it's just keeping things simplistic. Again, you get a person gets an idea just what in relation to say the size of a man on the bike, just how big it is. A few other things here, some close-up photos out on different terrains. These images are so important. This one here I like the most. All right, this one here is kind of gives you an idea just how big in relation the bike is in relation to someone who's 6'8", like a male who's 6'8". All right. And if you have a look on here, the load capacity, that gives you an idea just how much load the bike can take. Obviously, the heavier you are, okay, the more drainage it has on the battery because it's actually trying to work harder. So those are all those sorts of things that you got to take into consideration. But it gives you a really good idea just what you know in terms of size relation, what it looks like. And of course, I've got things like down here, free shipping within the US, user manual support. Just a nice simple for a nice simple. I actually got this from, I think I got this from Canva. I didn't do anything to this logo. I just put in e-bike, and then I got this here, and I just used that as a logo. I didn't really want to fuss too much on the logo. It's not the biggest sort of thing that you should be worried about. Okay, so any questions about that? Anything about how I've laid this out? You know, let me know if you like it or if you don't like it. I mean, you know, not everybody is going to like somebody else's websites. You know, they might have a different sort of taste to things, but I always spend a bit of time on really taking in consideration the design of a website, the layout, the simplicity. Like I said, less is more. I mean, the less you put on the main page, you can actually, you know, put all the other information on the product page, or the product page. All right, you can put all of that stuff in here if you want to. Okay, so that's the other thing. Everything that you want to put on about put in about the bike, you can put it on the product page and not on the main page. The main page is just, it's kind of like a shop window, right? They dress up a shop window so that it entices you to come in. Well, it actually encourages curiosity and it entices you to come in and have a look around. really just like a website. The main page of a website is to actually entice you or to draw you in to come inside and have a look. And so the more a person spends on your website, the higher the chance they're going to buy off your website. Now, and this one in particular, thanks, Tom. Yeah, no, Tyler, Nancy was just asking about that, and I'm going to look into that. Yeah, in GrooveKart, it's a little bit more challenging, but in Groove Pages, you can definitely do that. So I'm going to look into that, and then I'll report back next week. Now, the most important thing about this is that because this is such a high ticket item, you've got to make sure that you've got all those things in place in terms of trying to convert lookers into buyers. Because you could have a site a site that's not really SEO optimized, or it's not the best looking site that people have seen that sells similar things. They're just going to go past you. They're probably not even going to spend more than 5 seconds on your site if it doesn't look good first off, and if it looks like, pardon the expression, crap when you actually have it on a phone. That's another thing as well that puts people off. And I think I've completed the optimization on this in terms of responsiveness. Let me just have a quick look. So if I do that, okay, cool. Yeah. So I have done it on this one here, except for the video, but that's not hugely important, that one there. But all these other things are making sure that these placements are actually like the same as what they were on the wider page, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Because this has all got to do, by the way, Tom, with the optimizing it for mobile view. All right. So as we go down, I mean, those are obviously going to be smaller, but you can't make them any bigger than what they are when they're on the phone, but when it's on the mobile. But yeah, so yeah, it's pretty much optimized for mobile. So if I go into here now, just to your point, Tom, I'm going to go into the back end of this. Okay. Now, one of the things is to optimize it, and when I just showed you before this part here, where was it? This here, this actually doesn't end up looking like that in terms of like having the image on top of the content when you're in a mobile view. And so there are a couple of things, and if you can see faintly in here, there's a couple of things you have to do. All right, and for the different sort of sizes. So in the mobile view, all right, here's what I've done. What I've actually done is that if you can see here, I've got some hidden text here. All right, I had to hide that because when I actually put it into the mobile view, I ended up with the text up top of the above the image. What I wanted is I wanted the text below the image. I didn't want it above the image. Okay, just like this one here. You got the image there, then you got the text, and you got the button. All right, same there. Actually, that one there should be. Now to make it show up on a mobile, or to hide it on a mobile, basically you click on the element, whether it be content or text or images or whatever it is. You click on here on the button, 3 sort of horizontal buttons, and see that shouldn't be hide on mobiles, but well, it's hidden, and so it's not hide on mobiles, but it has been hidden. But on there it looks like it is, but I think on the actual live view it still shows up. But this is what you do is when you want to hide something on a mobile view, because it's it's not going to look right otherwise. You pretty much use this, which is the thing. So you see how it's showing here now. All right, now I could save that, and if we have a look at that, what's going to happen is if I go to the mobile view there, let me just refresh this. I think I've got to refresh this. Yeah, see, I've ended up with text up above it, which I don't want. Okay, so I need to hide that on the mobile view. So I'm just going to bring this out again. Oh, sorry. Actually, hang on. I didn't show you. I didn't share the tab. Okay, so here you see the text that I actually ended up showing on the mobile view, which I didn't want to show on the mobile view. There it is there. So it's ended up on there. So I want that hidden. I don't want that to be seen. So what I need to do is I need to go back to the builder and go to that area where there, and I just need to hide it. Okay. Hide it on the mobile view. That way then it's not going to show up. So the other thing is that that's what you do when you want, when you're trying to sort of optimize your site for, or make it responsive. Those are the sorts of things that you need to do. Unlike group pages where you actually select a device and then you've got to isolate it by switching the little toggle on or off. You don't have to do that on this. As soon as you click on the mobile view, any changes you make in the mobile view will only affect the mobile view, not the rest of the devices. Same here on the tablet, and same here on the PC. Right now, these other three dots here that you must not forget. If you click on those, then you've also got a laptop view, and then you've got a tablet on its horizontal view. Okay, so those are another one that you actually have to make sure that you optimize it for. So the optimization is very, very manual. Right, it's not something that's automatic unless you get a template that's all responsive, has been made responsive. Like, say for instance, if you've ever done WordPress before, a lot of the templates that they actually they sell or that you can use, that you can have for free, they're responsive to different to different devices. Whereas in this is a very manual process, whether it's in GrooveKart or even Groove Pages. But it is a very manual process. But the great thing about that is that you get to learn more about making a site responsive, and so so you'll be able to sort of like know firsthand how to do it. There are other things too you got to keep in mind too when you're doing this sort of thing. Is you got to make sure that you make the text a different size font, because you don't want it bigger than, like if it was there, it's nice and big there, but if it's the same size in the mobile view, then it's actually going to look, too big. So if you have a look here, I've hidden some text here because that's the text that shows up on the PC view, but I don't want it to show up on the mobile view. All right. So yeah. Hey. Okay, so Tom, sorry, I was talking about more about traditional store site. This site is very minimalist, which is easy to make responsive. Yeah, I guess it is. Yep. So if you're talking about, let me just go to another one. Okay. Yeah. Understandably, that one is a very minimalist. No, I can't even say the word now. I haven't had enough sleep. Minimalist. Anyway, something like this where you've got a few items on the main page. Is that what you're kind of talking about? Where there's quite a bit going on. I guess that's what you're saying. If I was to go into the live view. If that's what you're talking about, then yeah. Now, what you will see here is that actually automatically lined up really nicely. And I really didn't have anything to do with that, but because of the way that the elements are actually constructed. So if I go back to this view again, we'll go back into the back end. These elements here are like 3-column elements already pre-done. Okay, and these elements already link up to link up to the product. So if I clicked on this element here and I go into settings, I can select the products that I want to go into each of those columns. All right, but this actual element here is made to be responsive to any device. So when you click on it, you'll have here how many products do you want per row, which means how many do you want showing on a desktop per row. So in this case, I've only got 3. I can make it 4. I can make it 6, but I only wanted 3 because I wanted a little bit more bigger. I wanted it to stand out. And in the horizontal tab, same thing. In the vertical tab, I only wanted 2. In the mobile, I only wanted 1 on top of the other. All right, so that's pretty good there. That helps with the responsiveness a lot. So if I actually, if you were to look at it, if I was to actually share the screen again, as I bring this in closer, you will see that getting smaller. But when we start getting into something like a tab view, where it only has 2 per row, that's what it will look like. Okay. Yeah. And then when you start getting into the mobile view, it'll only have 1 per row. So they have made some elements that actually makes it a lot more easier to make your home page responsive. If you want to busy up your page more, you can actually put more on the row, more columns if you like. And instead of having 3, you could have 4 or 6. All right, you could do it that way if you wanted to. And it doesn't have to be all the way through the website that you got to have only 3. If you choose 3, then you're going to have 3 for every row. No, you can actually you can turn this one here into a row of 4 if you want. They can be separate, all right, because they're all different elements. They're all separate elements, and that's a key thing to remember. All right? But other than that, I don't like to put too much busyness on my front page. I do like it to look a little bit more clean and simplistic. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, Tom, because I realized, the other one wasn't a very good example of a general store, if you like. But if you are talking about like multiple products on the front, let's just say you're just doing consumer products, right? Something similar to this. I'll just show you. This is another store of mine. And I think you're kind of sort of thinking something like this, maybe. All right. Now, this is not a GrooveKart site, by the way. This is actually a platform called Salvia, and they do everything for you. So all the products are all put in and everything else, and you pay so much per month. It's actually it's not a big price. But yeah, they do everything for you. Everything's optimized. There's SEO in it as well. And I mean, this never existed when I first started out. You would never get anything like this. But yeah, so I guess you're thinking something like that. This is actually really responsive. So if I was to close it up like that, then it looks pretty good, right? So yeah. But, I could do a site like that if I wanted to. But when I came across this, I thought, why not? Let's do this. There's a lot of work in doing something like this. And yeah, so I decided to opt for this one here, but it doesn't matter what platform you use. You could use any platform you want. This is all about e-commerce. It's not about one particular platform. I do actually report back with different platforms, which I think are pretty good. And I let people know in this chat about it as well. Oh, sorry. Done it again. Here we go. This is the site. Sorry, Tom. So this is the site. And there's a few different things. And I guess this is what you're talking about. And obviously, when you kind of close it all up, it's very, very responsive. Okay. And like I said, I could spend time doing a site like this if I wanted to, but the price is so competitive that I just decided to opt for this. And, I have that one going in the background. I'm building other sites. It doesn't really matter. So I've got other e-commerce sites and websites and stuff like that. So, something like this is actually really quite cool when you come across it. You got to take up the opportunity, because it's not often that you get something that costs so much. I think it's around about $35 US a month to actually have this up and running, to keep it going and stuff like that. And they have packages where you can buy more products that they will put in there. I think there's about 205 products in this at the moment, but you can add more. And they've got packages like winter products, summer products, Halloween products, Father's Day products, and you just pay certain prices for those to add them in. If you do it over time rather than straight away, then it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg all in one go. You can actually add products yourself if you wanted to. That's entirely up to you. But these guys make that process so easy. I think they make it such a good offer, an offer you can't refuse, pretty much. So what I've suggested in the past, if you're working on your own like GrooveKart site and it's taking you a bit of time to do that, but you want to get yourself out there in the e-commerce world and get something moving straight away, then this would be a good option while you're working on your GrooveKart site. I kind of like the GrooveKart. I kind of like using that as a niche product site rather than a general consumer's product, because with a niche product, there's also a lot of benefits to that, where you can market. It makes your marketing so much easier, and your promoting so much easier. This one here, because there's so much to it, I'd sooner have someone else do it for me and then just have it running in the background and not spend any time on it. The other thing is they do actually have an option where if you put $100 deposit US in there, they will automate the sales process for you. So if someone buys a product, they will actually initiate the order, everything, organize the delivery. It all gets done automatically. You don't have to worry about a thing. If you don't want to do the $100 deposit, you just got to make sure you keep an eye on your orders, and then go through the process of buying the product from the seller, and then initiating the order. Sorry, yeah. Looking forward to using this site. Thank you, Peter, for sharing tools that help. Okay, no problem, Tyre. So Tom, I hope. Yeah, given up on GrooveKart because it seems like Groove has abandoned it. I just saw you were live, so I jumped on. I do my stores in Spotify. Yep. Okay. Yep. Spotify or Shopify? I think you mean Shopify, right? Yeah. Anyway, actually, you can actually sell on Spotify too, as well. By the way, there's a guy on Spotify that actually has his own e-commerce channel. I forgot what his name is, but he talks about e-commerce and all these other things that you know, kind of like what I'm doing, just talking about e-commerce, different things that you can get into, all that sort of type of thing. But yeah, I'm thinking you're meaning Shopify. All right. Um, all right, so let me just go back to here. I think I just want to see if I haven't missed anything. All right. Okay. So just back to the side here. Like I said, I use these the GrooveKart sites really for a niche product or niche category, if you like. Being real specific about what I want to sell. I don't want to sell a whole range of different things on GrooveKart. One, it makes it more easier for me to actually design a GrooveKart store, and two, it makes it so much easier to promote because you're not trying to promote every single different product that you have on your store. You're really just promoting, a type of product or a certain product or certain model, if you like, or brand. And and that's the whole idea about doing e-commerce is if you can get sort of go into a specific niche and do that well, and then you can work on another GrooveKart site. And this is what I like about GrooveKart is I can actually have a niche for each website that I do, and I don't have to pay any more for any other site. And to your point before, Tom, you made about that, it seemed like Groove had abandoned GrooveKart. No, it hasn't. Yep, there has been some little issues here and there with GrooveKart. I use it, and at the end of the day, I still enjoy designing on it. I just think if you haven't used it a lot, then you're probably you're probably may sort of stay away from it because they might have a little issue, and you might think, well, it's they obviously haven't maintained it, if you like. But there are some things in there. I immediately get hold of support, let them know. I even do a video recording of the issue and send it to them. And believe this or not, but I do actually get an answer within probably about 48 hours. And I know I've heard people it's been a lot longer than that, but yeah, I don't seem to experience the same problem. And I'm definitely not anybody's favorite over there. They don't really know me, so I don't have anything. We don't have any direct link to support. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm also helping them identify different issues, and the more information I can give them, the better. And of course, too, well, it's how you deliver the, I guess, the email. If you go in frustrated and you have a sense of frustration in your email, yeah, it doesn't help. And I can understand some people do get frustrated sometimes, but yeah, it doesn't help, and it doesn't actually get the results quicker either. So you got to maintain a bit of a balance. I used to I used to deal a lot with suppliers and manufacturers over in China, and back in the day where I was selling stuff on Amazon, and so I was buying bulk in China, getting it sent to Amazon warehouse, and then actually selling off my platform or my store on Amazon. And sometimes the language barrier can get quite frustrating, and sometimes conversations can actually sort of like stretch out quite long. But you do actually, and I notice with people from China, if you treat them with an element of respect and common courtesy, they go all out for you, right? And they tend to do the same with you, and you tend to get what you're after, and it makes life so easy. But if the moment you start getting frustrated because of the language barrier, what's going to happen is there's a breakdown in communication immediately. Because China is kind of like a respectful culture. They're quite respectful in a lot of ways. Unless you disrespect them, then you're not going to have an enjoyable conversation. You're not going to get anywhere. So those are the sorts of things that I actually I do when I'm actually dealing with various manufacturers and things like that. We all want the same goal. We all want to either buy something or sell something at the end of the day, right? And it all comes down to how you manage that and how you actually have a conversation with somebody is how far you're going to get in your journey when it comes to e-commerce. And I learned that a long time ago. Yeah, I mean Shopify, but also do Printify. Okay, yeah, Printify pop-up shops are nice. Awesome, Tom. That's really good. Sounds like you're really on a good e-commerce journey there. Johan snuck in about 15 minutes ago. Hey, everyone. Hey, Johan. Good to have you here. The more people that use the Groove platform, the better. The better the platform. Yes, Tyler, you're absolutely right. Look, there are a few things in there that are not quite working properly, which I haven't actually addressed to support yet because I haven't had a need for them as of yet. But like the one thing that I used to do was sell fragrances, genuine fragrances from. There was a company in New York, so these were actually big brands, genuine brands. And I used to sell a lot of those. The problem with that is that there was like 20,000 different types of products. When I say products, I mean, you could have about 5 or 6 different volumes of one particular fragrance. And then by the time that it all adds up, when you've got all those fragrances out there, there was about 20,000 at the time that I was actually doing it, and that number was even growing more. Because there's stars, like actors and pop stars and all that. They tend to do their own fragrances as well, and then they get ads into it and all that sort of thing. So that kind of keeps building and building and building. So the one thing that GrooveKart you can't do is actually upload bulk products using a CSV, although it has got an indication that you can. However, it's not working that well, right? So it's not something that I've addressed with support yet, but I will, because I am looking at a bit at getting back into fragrances again, because it was actually quite a good product to sell. Why don't I do it anymore? A lot of my selling stopped when COVID happened. So yeah, that's why. The other thing about GrooveKart, there was something else. Oh, right. And GrooveKart, and I haven't told support about it, but there is the one of the suppliers, if you like, and they're not actually active. They do the print on demand. I'm trying to figure out what the name was. Let me just quickly have a look. And then we're going to tie this up. Where are we? I used to remember it off the tip of my tongue. Sorry, guys, I'm just going there now. And then I'll show you which one it is. POD and drop shipping. That's slow mo today. Here we go. Layer app, that's the one. Layer app is not functioning. They don't have any contact on their website. They're not even, I think I emailed something at one stage, a support email address, but they're not even responding to that. They don't function whatsoever. They're not active whatsoever. So don't use that. Don't go in there and start designing things and all that and expecting it to work, because it won't. So stay away from that one there. Actually, while I'm at it, I might as well tell you the rest of them. This one here, unless you've actually got the Chrome extension to use for this one, that's not worth using. And I think the Chrome extension that GrooveKart did is not supported. So, and that's for various reasons why it's probably not supported. Nothing to do with Groove, probably more to do with Chrome itself. But the ones you can use are Dropify, Printful, Lulu, Tscape, HubCart. Oh no, not HubCart. T-Launch and Printify. These are what do you call it? Health product brand things you can like white label, black label, whatever you want to call it. Where you can actually sell protein powder supplements with your own branding on it. So those are those two there, and then HubCart is kind of like another Shopify, if you like, right? But you pay a lot of money to be on that per month. So really, the ones that I use really the most here is Printful, Printify, and I might even use like Lulu. HubCart was going to be a Shopify killer. I mean, I don't know about that, because that's like me saying that GrooveKart's going to be a Shopify killer as well, which I know it's nowhere near that. However, the only thing that GrooveKart does actually beat them on is value for money, and not having to pay per month for individual sites. And it's a lot more customizable than what Shopify is, because you either got to buy the template, or there are free templates, I know that much. Or if you want something that's more to the way you want it to look, you may have to pay for that, which becomes more of a premium product. You might pay a one-off fee, which is only right. But the thing is, if you decide you don't want that template, you want something else, then you have to buy another one. But you have to do that with just about every store that you do. So not only do you have to do a template for each store, you also have to pay for each store, which I think the base level is around about the 26 something, or maybe $30 per month. So I think I've got about, I don't know how many stores I've got there, but it's well over 10. And I can't imagine being able to actually pay that amount of money, pay the base level. And plus the other thing is that there are some plugins that are free with Shopify, and there are some products that are plugins that are free for 7 days or 14 days, and then you have to start paying. Then you need a plugin for the pop-up when people come onto your website. You want a pop-up to come up, or you want a wheel cart to come up, things like that. Before you know it, you're paying more than what you thought you would at the beginning. Yeah. Layers got mad at Groove and dropped them. This is debatable. I used them once, right? Actually, a client of mine, I did them a site, e-commerce site, and they were using Layer, and we're talking about maybe, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. And then they had purchases, tried to initiate the sale through Layer app, and they didn't do it. It just, and we couldn't get a hold of anybody. And before we knew it, it was like probably 2-3 weeks had gone by and nothing had been done about their order. But they didn't communicate, they didn't do anything. What happened to the money? Not sure what happened to their money. They had their own credit card in it, but anyway, yeah. So I don't think they got mad at Groove. They just kind of. Otherwise, I don't think Groove would have actually left them still in there. I don't think Groove actually really knows. So, but anyway, I will probably alert them. Anyway, that's me, guys. Look, I've gone on long enough. This is kind of like just a conversation really about e-commerce. I like talking about my different experiences only because if it's helpful and it gives you a bit of insight to what different things are about. I've done the Shopify thing, I've done the eBay thing, I've done the Amazon thing, and I did my own e-commerce sites as well in the past, back in the early days, like 2006, using various site builders that weren't as good as what they are now. I've done Wix, I've done WordPress, so I've kind of been through it all. And I love talking about it because I love talking about the experiences that I have with these, and it just gives people a little bit more idea about, if they're looking at entering into something. And when something good does come along, I certainly love telling people and sharing it with people. I don't like keeping those things a secret, because I believe everybody should have an opportunity to actually, to pick up on something good, like the one I mentioned before, the Salvia. If you Tom, if you want to look into that, Johan, look into Salvia.com, which is SELL VIA.com. Have a look at that. I'm sure they've got some videos about it and all that sort of thing. It's not an absolute thing, by the way. And so just have a look, and yeah. And if you like it, just pop me a message or whatever and let me know. Other than that, I just want to make sure there's no other questions. All right. Oh, okay. Groove was connected with originally, and HubCart bought them. Okay. Maybe it was him. It was later, because the ones that they've got in here at the moment, nothing's really changed. Nothing's missing. But yeah. Okay. All right. That's me, guys. Hopefully that was all sort of insightful. And like I said, let me know if you're going to sort of jump into something like Salvia, or, let me know about your e-commerce journey. And if you need some advice on things or whatever, I'm there. I think most of you, except probably Tom, don't have my Facebook profile thingy. So what I'll do is I'll do that for you now, Tom. I'll put it in the chat. You can grab it. Oh, I'm not too sure if I can actually put it in the chat, because I don't know if YouTube can take links. But okay, I might just put it in there anyway. Hang on. Okay. YouTube have these rules these days. You're welcome, Nancy, and you're welcome, Johan and Tyra, and good to see you here, Tom. And everybody take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
You gotta get into the groove.